Authorities arrest senior Abu Sayyaf member in Basilan. 44 communist group supporters in Ifugao withdraw support, pledge allegiance to government. COMELEC to print more than 17 million ballots in preparation for the upcoming elections. DA says rice prices could go down by 5 to 7 pesos next year. Good day everyone, as well to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo, Quezon City. Today is Wednesday, September 25, and we will bring you the latest news from the armed forces and other information around the Philippines. I am Rofh Suzon for AFP Community News.
DWDD Armed Forces
And
News.
for the brief overview of our stories, police with support from local officials and military intelligence arrested a senior member of Abu Sayyaf group in Isabela City, Basilan. The said personality was known as Mobin Kulin, wanted for multiple crimes including kidnapping, extortion, and murder, had a 600,000 pesos bounty on his head. Director of the Police Regional Office 9, Brigadier General Bowen Joey Masauding confirmed his arrest following a joint operation by the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group 9 and local police. Kulin, a former associate of Abu Sayyaf's founder, is now in custody awaiting prosecution.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
44 former supporters of the communist terrorist group in Ifugao formally withdrew their support during a ceremony in Barangay Impugong, Tinok yesterday. Governor Jerry Dalipog hailed the event as a significant stride toward peace, urging unity in the fight against insurgency. The former supporters condemned the CTG by burning banners and signing an oath of allegiance to the government. The military and police vowed continued support for peace efforts in the province.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
Now let's hear our report on the ground. About 63 MPA rebels surrender in eastern Mindanao amid government's counterinsurgency success. Going for the details, Spencer Ross.
Indeed, Rofh, the government's counterinsurgency campaign saw a major victory as 63 new People's Army rebels surrendered in eastern Mindanao. AFP Eastmincom Commander Lieutenant General Luis Rex Bergante confirmed the surrenders, with 16 rebels from the 4th Infantry Division yielding 12 firearms and an anti-personnel mine, while 49 rebels from the 10th ID surrendered with 7 firearms. Relatedly, Rofh, he called on remaining NPA members to surrender peacefully, noting that the former rebels realized the futility of their cause and grew weary of constant military pursuit. This is Spencer reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Spencer Ross.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Soldiers from the 91st Infantry Battalion, supported by the 84th Infantry Battalion, clashed with remnants of a dismantled communist terrorist group in Barangay Galintuha, Maria Aurora, following a tip-off from residents. Major General Andrew Costello, the commander of the 7th Infantry Division, confirmed that the CTG was attempting to recover in the area when the community reported their presence. The 30-minute encounter resulted in no government casualties, with recovered items including firearms, ammunition, and subversive documents. Major General Costello praised the community for rejecting the CTG and encouraged the continued cooperation with security forces.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines and National University of Philippines formalized a partnership through a memorandum of agreement on at AFP General Headquarters yesterday. The agreement, signed by NUP President Dr. Renato Carlos Ermita Jr. and AFP Deputy Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Shalon Garlan, establishes the collaborative initiatives such as scholarships, internships, and job placements for AFP personnel, their dependents, and NUP students. Lieutenant General Garland highlighted the importance of advocacy in supporting the growth of AFP personnel and their families.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
On the other line, let us hear from Ferdy about Philippine Air Force engages ASEAN air chiefs in Cambodia.
Good day to you, Rofh. The Philippine Air Force Commanding General Lieutenant General Stephen Pareño met with ASEAN Air Force leaders during the 21st ASEAN Air Chiefs Conference in Siem Reap, Cambodia. Theme: enhancing information sharing and cohesive cooperation among ASEAN Air Forces for peace and development. The event focused on regional security and cooperation. Lieutenant General Pareño held bilateral meetings with Air Force leaders from Cambodia, Brunei, and Singapore, discussing partnerships and strengthening military ties. The conference enhanced collaboration among ASEAN Air Forces to address shared security and challenges. This is Ferdy Blues reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ferdy.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy reported a record high of 251 Chinese vessels, including research ships, spotted in the West Philippine Sea from September 17 to 23. The fleet included 28 China Coast Guard ships, 16 People's Liberation Army Navy warships, and over 200 maritime militia vessels. Philippine Navy spokesperson Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad linked the sharp increase to recent activities in Escoda Shoal and weather disturbances. He also emphasized that the presence of these vessels within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone remains illegal.
DWDD
And
National
for our
News.
national news, the Commission on Elections will print an initial 73 million ballots in preparation for the upcoming 2025 elections. COMELEC chairperson George Erwin Garcia said that 70 million would be used for the regular midterm elections, 2 million for BARM, and 1 million as test ballots that would be used for an education campaign. Garcia pointed out that the ballots intended for the regular elections could still increase depending on the outcome of the still ongoing registration of voters. Printing of ballots would start no later than the second week of December.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio Report.
Let us hear more updates from Mark about 14th CMO Battalion leads community engagement with Cebu Vendor Association.
Yes, Rofh. The 1st Platoon, 1st Civil Military Operations Company, 14th Civil Military Battalion successfully conducted the pulong-pulong at Port San Pedro, Plaza Independencia, Cebu City. Troops met with the Alliance of Energetic Vendors Association Incorporated. The assembly was also supported by various organizations. It highlighted the strong collaboration between the military, government, and the community in promoting peace and development. This is Mark reporting for AFP Community News, one AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mark.
DWDD National News.
Consumers may expect a significant price reduction and rise next year. Department of Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel said that based on their estimates, there could be a 5 pesos to 7 pesos per kilo reduction in the price of rice by January 2025. This is due to the lower tariff imposed on imported rice. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. recently signed Executive Order 62, which reduces the tariff on rice to 15% from 35%.
DWDD National News.
Senate President Francis Escudero said that the proposed Anti-Agricultural Economic Sabotage Act was scheduled for signing by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Friday. Escudero added that the measure aims to raise the income of farmers and make food more affordable to Filipinos. He explained that farmers, fisherfolk, livestock and poultry raisers, and legitimate traders have long suffered from smugglers' operations and individuals and groups manipulating the market. Under the measure, agricultural smuggling, hoarding, profiteering, cartels, and financing of these crimes were classified as acts of economic sabotage.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
For other updates, let us hear the details about Army officers' lead seminar on enhancing community support and combating insurgency in Pampanga. Go ahead, Beth Tanyete.
Officers from the 70th Infantry Battalion played a key role in the door delivery of optimal and efficient services through retooling of community sports programs, seminars, in San Fernando, Pampanga. Second Lieutenant John Ray A. Cabalida and Technical Sergeant Anthony Carpio provided insight on the community engagement and counterinsurgency effort. The said activities aim to contribute in collaborative strategies and to support municipalities and the provinces. This is Betanete reporting for the EFP Community News, 1 EFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Beth Añete.
DWDD National
For other
News.
national news, the Senate approved a third and final reading Senate Bill 2451 or the Ligtas Pinoy Centers Act. This measure mandates the construction of evacuation centers nationwide in every city and municipality. Senator Bongo, the bill's principal author, mentioned the bill's importance as the country is highly vulnerable to natural hazards attributed primarily to its location. He also emphasized that the government cannot deny the plight of the Filipino people who live along coastal communities and many others prone to such dangers.
DWDD National News.
The Land Transportation Office is hoping to resolve the delays in printing of the plastic driver's license by November. Valenzuela City's 2nd District Representative Eric Martinez, the sponsor of the Department of Transportation's proposed budget, mentioned that there are enough plastic cards, but the printing was really the problem. The LTO began releasing plastic cards last April. This is to those drivers who were initially issued with paper's driver's license cards.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
We have a report coming in about Philippine Army inaugurates a new multi-purpose hall and admin building at Fort Magsaysay. Go for the details, Gina.
Yes, Rofh, the Philippine Army inaugurated its new multi-purpose hall and admin building at the Installation Management Command headquarters in Fort Ramon Magsaysay, Nueva Ecija yesterday. The ceremony was led by Commanding General Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido, wherein the new facilities aim to enhance the working environment and boost personnel morale. He emphasized the importance of infrastructure improvements in increasing productivity. Moreover, it also aims to support the Army's vision of a stronger and more resilient force. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD National News.
For other development story, the Philippine Statistics Authority assured that it is processing 60,000 IDs from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. PSA Undersecretary and National Statistician Claire Dennis Mapa said that the agency has already met with alternative service providers to address the printing supply. Mapa noted they are expecting to start the centralized printing at the PSA's provincial offices in the latter part of this year. PSA earlier stated that 90.5 million Filipinos registered at the national ID, 55.5 million printed cards, and 53 million IDs that have been given to the registrants.
DWDD National News.
The Maritime Industry Authority sought the help of lawmakers for more measures that would help the development of the country's maritime industry. This comes after President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed the Magna Carta of Filipino Seafarers. Marina Planning and Policy Service Director Luisito de los Santos said the government has to create more narratives for the maritime industry because the agency has been lobbying support for the legislative agenda. The Marina, according to De Los Santos, is lobbying for legislation to develop the country's shipbuilding capabilities and ship registry system.
Armed Forces Radio Report.
From Mandaluyong, more updates from Ella Mercado about authorities nab a most wanted person.
The elements of Mandaluyong City Police Station arrested one most wanted person during their anti-criminality operation which was carried out in Barangay Burol, Mandaluyong City. By virtue of warrant of arrest issued by Regional Trial Court Branch 280 Mandaluyong City, dated September 23, 2024, the arrested suspect was identified as Elias R., 34 years old, a resident of the aforementioned barangay. Elias R., who was facing the crime of violating Republic Act 9165, commonly known as Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act Law of 2002, is now under the custody of Mandaluyong City Police Station for proper documentation. This is Ella Mercado reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Ella, from Mandaluyong City.
DWDD National News.
Moreover, the Senate Committee on Finance approved the proposed budget of the Department of Migrant Workers for 2025. The DMW said the department was allocated 8.5 billion pesos under the 2025 National Expenditure Program. DMW Secretary Hans Leo Kakdak said the budget will sustain the agency's efforts in strengthening protection of migrant workers' rights as well promoting their welfare and enhancing their capacities. The fund will be used for the Overseas Employment and Welfare Program, Overseas Employment Regulatory Program, Labor Migration Policy and International Cooperation Program, and the Maritime Research and Skills Competency Program.
DWDD National News.
The Department of Education expressed gratitude to the House of Representatives for approving its 793.1 billion peso proposed budget for 2025. DepEd said its budget for next year includes the construction of new classrooms, the rehabilitation of school buildings, and a computerization program. This will also cover learning and equipment tools, additional teaching positions, teacher training, school-based feeding programs, among other items. The agency also noted that portions of its budget are allocated for its attached agencies, including the National Book Development Board, National Council for Children's Television, National Museum, Philippine High School for the Arts, Early Childhood Care and Development Council, and National Academy of Sports.
DWDD National News.
A total of 2,500 job vacancies will be offered by the Manila local government in a job fair in Sampaloc, Manila today, September 25. The employment opportunities will be offered at the Kalinga sa Maynila Peso Job Fair. This is open to all high school graduates, college level, college and technical and vocational graduates. All interested applicants are advised to wear casual attire, bring 10 copies of their resume, and to follow the existing public health protocols.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time and same station. Again, this is Rofh Suzon for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.